Not every smile is real. We meet 1,000 faces and 1,000 smiles every day, but not every one of them is honest. Sometimes the brightest grin is a carefully polished mask. Sometimes a warm handshake hides a cold intention. We live in a world full of surface charm, and if we are not careful, it will fool us into handing over pieces of ourselves we cannot get back. This is not paranoia. This is wisdom by observation. You have a right to be cautious, not cynical. You have a right to protect your heart, not to build walls. The truth is blunt. People will smile to get what they want, to manipulate, to climb, to protect their own fragile image. They will charm you, flatter you, mimic your laugh, and nod with practiced empathy, all while keeping their true colors folded beneath a tailored suit. So how do you survive in such a world without losing your humanity? You sharpen your vision. You learn to read the room beyond the smile. You study the small inconsistencies, the pause too long before a response, the eyes that do not light up with the mouth, the stories that never add up. You value authenticity over applause. You trust slowly, and you protect fiercely, not because you want to be closed off, but because you refuse to be a casualty of polite deceit. This video is your field guide. It is a call to wakefulness, to moral armor, to emotional literacy. We will explore why people put on smiles, how deception feels in the body, and how you can stay human while guarding your peace. We will learn the signs of false warmth, the psychological motives behind performative kindness, and the steps to rebuild trust after it is broken. By the end, you will not be harder, you will be wiser. You will remain open, but your openness will not be naive. You will hold your hand out to the world and ask it to meet you halfway, or to step back. Listen to this as a permission slip to value yourself. When someone smiles at you with empty eyes, you do not have to return the currency of your soul. You can and you will choose people who match their faces. You will learn to protect your energy, and in the quiet clarity that follows, you will also reclaim your capacity to love without dissolving into the opinions of others. This is the work of strength. This is the work of survival. This is the work of wisdom. Now breathe and prepare. Because the journey we begin is not about building mistrust, it is about building discernment. It is about turning your sensitivity into a shield, and your kindness into a deliberate gift rather than an unguarded offering. You will learn to move through life with both softness and strength, unafraid to hold your ground. Ready? Let's begin the work of truth. Understand why people smile when they don't mean it. There are reasons, and most of them start with survival. Smiling is social glue. It eases tension. It opens doors. It smooths over conflict from an evolutionary lens. The face became a tool for safety and alliance. But tools can be misused. People who are insecure, ambitious, or opportunistic learn to use smiles as instruments. They practice warmth, the same way a salesperson practices a pitch. They learn which cadence of voice and which anecdote disarms the largest defenses. Do not mistake strategy for sincerity when charm is a technique. Relationships are currency. People trade warmth for gain. They might smile while plotting, laugh while subtracting from your future, or feign concern while tallying benefits that stings to say. But naming it frees you. You are not naive for being fooled. You are human. You are not weak for having trusted. You are brave. The lesson is not to renounce trust, it is to refine it. So how do you refine trust? Start with slow testing. Give small permissions, and watch how they are returned. Ask for little things that reveal character. Can they keep a promise for an afternoon? Do they celebrate your tiny victories? Are their words matched by action? Notice not only the smile but the response after the smile. Does their support persist? When the situation gets uncomfortable, do they show up when it is inconvenient? Those moments reveal the truth the smile cannot hide. Learn to read micro-behavior. The mouth is loud. The eyes are honest when someone smiles, and their eyes stay flat. The emotion is likely performed when expressions lag, when the feeling appears late, or the smile feels delayed. That is manufactured warmth. Watch for mismatched stories. A person who changes details, who avoids specifics, who gives vague promises. Truth is consistent. Fiction needs edits. Protect your energy with boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are gates. Teach people how to enter your life. Let them earn proximity. If someone wants your trust, they must respect limits first. Say no without apology. Limit conversations that drain. Reserve vulnerability for those who have proven themselves reliable over time. And when you notice someone repeatedly ignoring your boundaries, do not gloss over it. The polite thing is not always the safe thing. Cultivate a life anchored in self-awareness. People who are secure in their own value do not need to beg for others' approval. They are less likely to weaponize charm. Your presence of mind will help you differentiate between a practiced smile and an offered heart. When you center your worth internally through achievement, self-respect, and integrity, external performances lose their pull. You stop assigning your value to reflections in other people's eyes. Practice verbal clarity. If something feels off, name it. Use precise questions that demand real answers. Observe the reaction. Defensiveness often signals a misalignment. A person with nothing to hide will meet your question with calm. A person performing may twist or react. You are allowed to ask to know, to demand honesty. Remember the law of reciprocity, but do not confuse reciprocity with exploitation. A healthy relationship involves mutual investment, not a ledger, where one party consistently withdraws while the other deposits. If your heart keeps paying for a balance that never evens, reevaluate. And finally, build rituals of checking in with reality. Journal your observations, revisit conversations in your mind to spot inconsistencies. Discuss red flags with trusted friends who can offer perspective. Your community can be a mirror that clears fogged judgment. Never isolate your assessment. Confirmation from someone grounded can be the wake-up call you need. This is not cynicism, it is armor. It is the discipline of discernment that lets you remain open without being devoured. When you cultivate this skill, you keep your soft heart intact while you refuse to be anyone's stepping stone. You remain compassionate, and yet you are not consumed by other people's performances. Dive deeper into motives. Some people hide behind smiles because they fear vulnerability. The mask protects them from being seen. Others weaponize charm as a technique of control. Impression management in plain clothes, in extreme forms. You encounter narcissistic strategies that use flattery to entangle, then discard when the utility fades. Recognize these patterns without turning your heart to stone. Knowledge is your scalpel. Also understand the bodily language of betrayal. Trust your gut. Literally, anxiety, stomach tightness, and a creeping unease are signals, not stories. When your body reacts, pause. Ask clarifying questions. Your nervous system remembers whispers. It has heard before. It often knows faster than your rational mind. Honor that intelligence and verify. Create pockets of solitude to recalibrate. Deception preys on noise. Public admiration, social pressure, the need to appear agreeable. Solitude is the laboratory where your truth is tested in quiet. You can assess whether a smile felt liberating or like a transaction. Use solitude to rebuild your internal scale of value. Forgiveness has a place, but not without boundaries. Forgive to heal yourself, not to reinvite harm. When someone earns restoration through consistent action, you may choose to reopen when they do not. Closure is your right. You are permitted to protect your life from those unwilling to grow. Finally, invest in people who mirror integrity. Seek relationships where the smile is synchronous with action. Value those whose kindness persists in hardship, who admit mistakes and who repair trust. These are the anchors of a life where smiles are safe, where the currency of warmth is genuine. Protect your peace. Remain open, wise, discerning, and unwavering in compassion. Now transform your pain into strategy. This is not coldness, it is strategy for survival and excellence. You do not have to be broken by betrayal. You can be rebuilt by it, stronger and sharper. The difference is how you respond. You can fold under the weight of a broken promise, or you can lift it up and use it as fuel to build higher walls of integrity, kindness, and discernment. First, reclaim your narrative. Stop telling the story where you are the perpetual victim. That story keeps you small because it rehearses helplessness. Instead, narrate the part where you survived, learned, and decided to act. Speak out loud the steps you will take to change outcomes. Your voice is the first instrument of your freedom. Use it. Second, rebuild trust. Deliberately, trust is not a switch you flip, it is a structure you construct. Start with small scaffolding, simple promises kept. Ask less of people you do not know well. Observe what they do when the stakes are low. If they are honest in the small things, they are more likely to be honest in the big things. The moment someone betrays a small trust, treat it as data. Not a reason to implode, but a warning to recalibrate. Third, invest in rituals of self-care that are non-negotiable. Emotional resilience requires a body and mind that can endure sleep, movement, nutrition, and quiet. Reflection are not indulgences, they are tools. Make time to move your body until rage becomes energy and grief becomes motion. Make time to sleep until your nerves stop simmering. Feed your brain with books and voices that strengthen, not with the constant replay of what went wrong. Fourth, cultivate allies who will hold you accountable and hold you gently. Not everyone is fit to listen. Find those rare people who will speak truth and offer refuge. Let them challenge your narrative when you slip back into self-blame. Let them remind you of your value when you forget. Community is the crucible in which healing is tested and proven. Fifth, learn to set decisive boundaries. Boundary setting is a muscle that must be exercised. Start small. Say no to a request that drains you. Say yes to your priorities. Tell people your limits kindly but clearly. I can't do that right now. I won't tolerate this behavior, or I need space to heal. Do this without apology. Boundaries, this simple, are declarations of self-respect. Sixth, practice restoration with clarity. If someone seeks to come back into your circle, require evidence of change. Demands for immediate trust after harm are red flags. Allow reintegration on a timeline driven by consistent actions, not please. Restoration can happen, but the healer judges the pace. You get to decide. The seventh, make meaning out of pain. Viktor Frankl taught that meaning is the final freedom. Ask, what did this teach me? How does this sharpen my purpose? How can this experience be translated into empathy or service? Purpose is the mortar that cements the bricks of recovery. Eighth, practice radical forgiveness when you are ready, not because the offender deserved it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness is a release of the inside. Anchor it does not mean forgetting or inviting abuse. It's a sovereign act that says, I will move forward without carrying this as ballast. Ninth, train your attention. Your brain will try to loop the betrayal to keep you safe. Interrupt that loop. Choose where your mind goes. When the replay begins, pivot, breathe, mantras, movement work. The more you redirect your focus toward creation, the faster your mind builds new pathways away from pain. 10th, take courageous actions that reclaim your power. Public declarations, new habits, bold projects. These are statements of authority. Start something that excites you. Say yes to opportunities that expand your circle. Learn a skill that announces to the world you remain capable and unbowed. 11th, accept that some doors will close forever. Not all relationships are repairable. Honor the grief and then step forward when a door closes. A horizon opens. Train your eye to seek it. 12th, measure success differently. Healing is not linear. Celebrate the morning you woke without replay. Celebrate the time you spoke up and kept your ground. These micro wins are the ledger of restoration. 13th, keep a learning journal. Record how people reveal themselves over time. Patterns emerge and paint a clear picture. Months turn into proof. 14th, become a teacher through testimony. When your healing is strong, tell your story. Let your scars instruct without bitterness. Let your rise be a map for someone still lost. Be patient. Growth shows up slowly because character is forged, not assembled. Return to the choices one at a time. One sunrise of courage. One honest conversation. One boundary kept over time. These choices accumulate into a life no one can take from you. Stand and declare, I will not be reduced by hurt. I will be refined by it. I will use my wounds as blueprints for wisdom. Step forward, hold fast to your values, and watch how the world rearranges itself around the person you are becoming. This is the summit of everything you have done. In the next breath, choose yourself. You will not be defined by the smiles that lied or the hands that folded when you needed them. You will be defined by how you walked afterward, by the dignity of your response, the courage of your choices, and the steady march forward. Release the obligation to please. Release the script that tells you to stay small so others feel comfortable. Release the guilt for steps you must take to save your life. Not every person deserves your energy. Not every voice deserves a vote in the chamber of your heart. Stand tall, breathe deep, name the rules of your life. I will not tolerate disrespect. I will not be manipulated with charm. I will keep my heart and I will give it to those who are worthy. Speak them, inscribe them, and live by them. Strength is not the absence of softness. It is the decision to protect the soft. With wisdom, allow your empathy to remain. Let your kindness continue, but let it be weighted by discretion. Feel deeply and refuse to participate in patterns that harm you. Expect resistance. The world prefers familiar stories. People who benefited from your old habits may try to pull you back. Friends might be uncomfortable with new boundaries. That is normal. It is the test. Those who cannot walk with you into better ways were never meant for the longer road. Create rituals that return you to center. Morning vows, a journal movement, a call to someone who grounds you. Use these rituals as scaffolding until the new patterns become natural. Practice measured generosity. Give because you choose, not because you are coerced. Offer time to those who reciprocate. Share your heart with those who return it with honor. Let your gifts be wisdom as well as warmth. Use clarity as armor. Ask hard questions. Demand honesty if answers do not align with integrity. Act. This is not vindictiveness. This is stewardship of your soul. Become an example. Live openly. Love judiciously. Teach by doing. The one who steadies their life in storm becomes a map for someone still lost. Your healing becomes a beacon. Step forward. Let pain take its place in your story, but do not let it sit on the throne. Rebuild with intention. Love with clarity. Guard your heart with wisdom. Now stand. Claim the life you were born to live. Make this choice. I will not be owned by deceit. I will not be diminished by false smiles. I will step forward. I will let the pain go. I will build a life that honors what I have learned. Move deliberately with courage as your compass and wisdom as your shield. Let every step be proof that you chose yourself, and let your life, loud, sacred, and unfettered, be the answer to every doubt that this world once placed upon you. Always. This is your charge. This is your victory. This is your life reclaimed.